welcome. My name is Tyler Hayden. I am from teammover.com, and I've got another great classic communication-based initiative task that you can do with your team to help take your team outside of the box, because hey, that's half the fun. Listen, communication is absolutely essential in order to be successful, whether you're a project management team, whether you're a classroom, whether you are a small group inside a business, you're a divisional unit, you're a sales team. Regardless of what you do, communication is at the core of our success. It's at the core of humanity's success, is how we're able to communicate with one another. So I've got a great activity. It's called Scarecrow, and it's a classic. It's one that I've done for decades that has yielded great results and an absolute plethora of things to be able to talk about and to be able to improve our communication strategies based on a real concrete experience, which is building a scarecrow. And let me show you how we do that. So here we go. Let's go to the whiteboard. So we've got some great things going on here. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our team in, and we're going to sit them down. You can sit them in chairs around the floor. That's really up to you and the comfort of your team. And you can take it one of two ways. You can either have them blindfolded, or you can leave them sighted. It's really up to you. Blindfolding a group, particularly when it comes to doing communication activities, well, one is you have to be careful when you do blindfold people to make sure that everybody is comfortable being blindfolded. And if someone isn't, don't use the blindfolds at all, as people do have some issues relating to blindfolds. So blindfolds can be tricky things. That's number one. Number two, blindfolds are great when you're talking about communication, because if you take off that one of those faculties that we have, one of those senses that we have, which is our sight, it really forces people to listen a lot more. So I'll often do blindfold debriefs where people I'll blindfold the entire group so that they can't actually see the expressions, the nonverbal cues that folks are giving. It really helps to teach how to let people finish what they're saying. How to listen to intonation. There's a lot of rich things in order to enhance a group's experience just by placing a blindfold on. So up to you. You can blindfold them. You don't have to blindfold them. Let's get back to the scarecrow. So we've got our group there. And then what you do is you provide them with a bunch of tools and tell them that you want them to build something using these tools. Now, if they're blindfolded, don't give them too much information. Let them discover it. That's half of the excitement. You're going to have like a bag of hay or a hay bale. You're going to have like over here the green things. You're going to have shoes, hats, pants, shirts, etc., etc., etc. They will quickly realize that it is going to be a scarecrow. It is a bunch of stuff that you can put together in order to be a scarecrow. They can do it blindfolded. If they're having a lot of challenges doing it blindfolded, again, take the blindfolds off, or it's not really that important. So they'll work together. It'll take about 15-20 minutes to build themselves a scarecrow. So once they've built their scarecrow, celebrate the fact of what they've built. Maybe you can name the scarecrow. Then what we'll do is we'll take labels. So these can be sticky notes. They can be just pieces of paper with safety pins on them, and give each person one of those and ask them to pick an item on one of the accessories, one of the things that makes the scarecrow, and have them come up with a parallel item for an attribute that item contains. So for example, how to explain this, if you pick say you pick shades, maybe you've got a pair of sunglasses on your scarecrow, you pick the shades because the shades represent that it's important to be cool. So we talk about how is this scarecrow representative of what it takes to be an effective member of our community, of our tribe, of our team. It's important that maybe they'll accessorize and they'll place their watch on it, and they'll put a label on that saying, time is very important to me, and I want to make sure that we're on time and on task. So it's a great way to kind of break out some of those group rules, some of those group norms. It's a great way to have an open discussion about that, and a fun way of building the scarecrow. Of course, using it wholly as a communication activity, you can talk about how they communicated, how did they problem solve, how did barriers like blindfolds put up challenges for them as they moved forward with completing their project. Building a scarecrow is tons of fun. It's thematic. It's great, particularly in the fall time of year when all those resources are available and people are thinking about pumpkins and scarecrows and ghosts and Halloween and all that kind of stuff here in North America. So yeah, you know what? Play with the scarecrow. It's absolutely tons of fun. It's a great way to get your group outside of the box, reaching again to different multiple intelligences. This activity is a real winner. Been doing it for almost 2 decades and have had great results. So listen. Remember, the teams that have the most fun are the ones that win. So go out and help your team have a little bit more fun. Thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Tyler Hayden, and I'm from Team Mover. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Well, hey there everybody, welcome. My name is Tyler Hayden. I am from teammover.com and absolutely ecstatic that you came to join us today to learn some classic initiative and experiential based learning techniques to help your team to get outside of the box. So today we've got a great communication activity. It's called What Do You Say? And What Do You Say is a great activity because it enables you to help people to demonstrate and to use their multiple intelligences in order to successfully communicate with other members of their team. It's a great activity because it not only frames and allows people to communicate with one another, but to be able to break it down, talk about what the barriers to those communications were, what the benefits were, how maybe one person can communicate better in a certain way. Maybe they're verbal linguistic, maybe they're interpersonal, maybe they're visual. And we go into what those 8 different learning and intelligences are. So that it helps your team to know a little bit more about each other and maybe the ways that people like to be communicated with. So without further ado, let's go to the whiteboard. I've drawn it up here for our little activity called What Do You Say? So here's how it works. Basically, you're going to hand one participant a sheet of paper with a funky drawing on it. Something that's simple. You know, I like to use like rectangles and squares and circles and color certain ones in, you know, simple shapes, and place it onto just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Then what happens is one of your participants sits with their back to another participant. And their job, the person who has the sheet of paper, is to describe and communicate to their partner what that shape looks like. So they're going to describe there's a circle in the center of the paper, there's a plus sign in the middle, around that circle there's a square, a triangle on top, triangle on the bottom. They're going to describe exactly what it looks like. Now the person on the other side, who has their back to the person with the paper, their job is to draw it. So they're going to work on trying to make their drawing look as close to that diagram that you gave initially as you can. So they work together in order to describe it effectively, in order to communicate it effectively so that they can understand. So there's one and two-way communication happening inside this activity. It's a great little activity. It's a quickie, helping your group to really understand how each other communicates and how they can mutually benefit each other by taking time to maybe figure out how the other person likes to be communicated to, or what your own personal strengths are at communicating. Listen, fantastic activity in there as well. We throw in some ideas around what are the 7 C's to communication. Maybe check those out too. They're a fantastic place to start for your debrief and really work on helping your group to learn better ways to communicate. It's a fantastic and it's a vital skill, whether we're cross-culturally communicating, whether we're communicating to people inside our office or virtually. Communication is the key to any project or any team's success. Without it, you're toast. So listen, thank you very much for dropping by. My name again, Tyler Hayden from Team Mover. Wish you the absolute best of success with your team event and activity. And remember, whoever has the most fun, they win. We'll talk to you soon. Come join us again. Bye for now.